In this video, I am going to explain about constraints on allocation of frames. So we know that constraint is nothing but condition. Constraint is nothing but condition, or we can say that rules. So in this video, I am going to explain about what are the rules we should follow while allocating these frames for the processes. Okay, I'll explain this concept with the help of an example. Let us assume that this is the CPU, this is the primary memory, and this is the secondary memory. And I have 4 programs here, A, B, C, D. And these programs are stored in the secondary memory permanently. Here A1, A2, A3, A4 are the parts of program A, and B1, B2, B3, B4 are the parts of program B. So like that, all these 4 programs are stored in the secondary memory. Now let us assume that CPU wants to execute program A, B, C and D. In order to execute these programs, first CPU should access the data, right? First it should access the data, then only it can execute the data. So here, if you observe, CPU cannot access the data from the secondary memory directly because it can access the data only from the primary memory. CPU cannot access the data from the secondary memory. So here, the data from the secondary memory should be moved to the primary memory. Then only CPU can access the data and can execute the data. Here, moving the data from secondary memory to the primary memory is the responsibility of the operating system. Now, here we have 4 programs A, B, C and D. Now CPU wants to execute A, B, C, D, right? So we should load these processes into the primary memory. Then only CPU can access the data and can execute the data. So now while allocating the memory for the processes, we should follow some rules. We will discuss those rules now. Here if you observe, all these 4 programs together require 16 pages, right? These 4 programs require 16 pages in order to store data, right? That means in the primary memory, those 4 programs requires 16 frames in order to store data, right? But here if you observe, here we have only 8 frames. That means we cannot store all the data of the 4 processes into the primary memory. We can load only 8 pages data. We cannot load more than 8 pages data, right? So here if you observe, the first rule is while allocating the frames, we should follow some rules, right? So the first rule is we cannot allocate more than 8 pages data into the primary memory. We can store only 8 pages data into the primary memory because here we have only 8 frames, right? So we cannot store the data, we cannot store more than 8 pages data into the primary memory. That is the first rule. And the next one is, for each process we should allocate some minimum number of frames. Here we have 4 processes, right? For each process we should allocate some minimum number of frames in the primary memory. We should allocate some minimum number of frames in the primary memory. I will explain this point with the help of an example. Let us assume that for process A only 1 frame is allocated. We should allocate some minimum number of frames for the process, right? But let us assume that here only 1 frame is allocated for program A. Now let us assume that CPU is requested for A1. So A1 is loaded into the primary memory. From the secondary memory, A1 is loaded into the primary memory. Now CPU can access A1 and can execute the A1. Now let us assume that CPU requested for A2. A2 is not available in the primary memory, so we can call it as a page fault. When there is a page fault, what we should do? We should bring A2 into the primary memory. So it is already occupied by A1. So we should deallocate memory space of A1 and we should allocate memory space for A2. Now CPU can access A2 and can execute the A2. Let us assume that after some time CPU has requested for A3. Now A3 is not available in the primary memory, so there is a page fault. So we should load A3 into the primary memory. So it is already occupied by A2. So we should deallocate memory space of A2 and we should allocate memory space for A3. Now CPU can access the data and can execute the data. From this we can say that if you do not allocate some minimum number of frames for the process, then we will get more page faults. Okay, that means if you do not allocate minimum number of frames, then page fault rate will be increased. That is the first problem, if you do not allocate minimum number of frames for the process. And the next one is, let us assume that in order to execute D1 data, only we need to load page number 13. Which page we need to load? Page number 13. Now CPU wants to execute D1. In order to execute D1, here D1 should be brought from secondary to primary. Let us assume that D1 is stored here. In this page we have some instructions, right? Here we have some instructions in D1. So now CPU can access D1 and can execute the statements of D1. So the execution is finished for D1. Okay, fine. Now let us assume that CPU wants to execute C3. Now CPU wants to execute C3. So C3 should be loaded from secondary memory to primary memory, right? So now C3 is loaded from secondary memory to primary memory. Let us assume that while executing the instructions of C3, it requires C2 data. Okay, in order to execute C3, we require C2 data, because the required data is available in C2. So we should access C2 data also. That means in order to execute C3, we need to load C2 also. Okay. So that means in order to execute program C, we should allocate some 2 frames for the process C. In order to execute process C, we should allocate some minimum number of frames. That means we should allocate minimum 2 frames for process C, because here in order to execute C3, we require C2 data. That means it is requesting for C2 data. So this is called reference. It is asking for C2 data. Okay. So in order to execute program C, we require minimum 2. Let us assume that in order to execute D2, so now CPU has made request for D2. So in order to execute D2, it should be brought from secondary memory to the primary memory. Let us assume that D2 is stored here. Okay. And now CPU can access D2 and can execute D2, because it does not require any other frames data. So it is executed directly. Okay. So if you observe, in order to execute D1 or D2, we require only one page. If you have only one page data, then we can execute the instructions of D1 and D2. But in order to execute C program instructions, if you want to execute C3 data instructions, then we need C2 also. In that case, what we should do, we should allocate some minimum of 2 frames for the process C. Okay, because in order to execute C3, we have required data in C2, so we should load C2 also. Okay, and let us assume that in order to execute C1, it does not require any other page data. So we can load C1 and we can execute C1. In order to execute C4, let us assume that it does not require any other page data. So we can load and execute C4. That means out of these 4 pages, C1, C2 and C4 does not require any other frame or page data. But C3 requires 2 pages in order to execute its data. In this case, we should allocate some 2 frames for the process. For example, if you do not allocate 2 frames for the process C, let us assume that we have allocated only 1 frame for the process P. Then whenever we want to execute C3 data, so we should load C3, and in order to execute C3, we require C1, right? We require C2, right? But we cannot load C2 because we have allocated only 1 frame for the process C. So we cannot load C2, so we cannot execute C3 statements. That means we cannot execute process C. Okay, if you do not allocate minimum number of frames for the process, then we cannot execute programs. Okay, that is a problem. So what are the 2 problems? If you do not allocate minimum number of frames for the process, then first problem is page fault rate will be increased, and the second problem is we cannot execute the program. Here if you observe, we are unable to execute C program, because in order to execute C and in order to execute this part, we require minimum 2 frames. But We have allocated only one frame. We have not allocated some minimum number of frames for the process C. So I cannot execute it. These are the two problems. So while allocating memory space for the processes, we should allocate some minimum number of frames. Okay. Then how to choose the minimum number of frames for a process? That is the question, right? Here if you observe, process D does not require more than one frame, right? Each part of process D requires only one page. So for process D, we will allocate only one frame in the primary memory. If you observe, in order to execute C program data, some of the pages requires only one page data and some of the pages requires two pages data. So in total, C program requires two frames in order to execute its data. Okay. So first we should check the number of references. So based on the number of references, that means number of requests for other pages, we will choose the minimum number of frames for the process. Let us assume that in order to execute B instruction, now we want to execute program B. So if we want to execute B1, then it requires only one page data. Let us assume that B2 also requires one page data, B3 also requires one page data. But in order to execute B4, it requires B3 data, B3 in turn requires B2 data. Then how many number of frames we should allocate for B? For B we should allocate 3 frames. Okay, that means in order to choose the minimum number of frames for the process, we should check the number of references, number of page requests of that process. Okay, once you check the number of frame references, then we can allocate these minimum number of frames for the processes A, B, C, D. Okay, in the worst case, what happens is, we know that a program may require data of other program, right? So in the worst case, what happens is, in order to execute A1 we require A2 data, in order to execute A2 we require A3 data, in order to execute A3 we require A4, then B1, then B2. Like this, it may touch nearly all the virtual memory space. In that case, what happens is, we cannot load all these pages into the primary memory, right? So that is a problem. In that case, what we should do is, we should place a constraint, we should place a condition on minimum number of frames. Okay, we should place a condition on minimum number of frames. That means for any process, it can be A, B or C, it can make a maximum of 5 references. That means each process may request for maximum of 5 pages. It cannot request more than 5 pages in order to execute its data. Okay, so now let us assume that each process can request for only 5 pages, right? So now we will see. So now A1 requires A2 data in order to execute A1 instructions. So out of 5 references, 1 is used. So now the reference count will become 4. Now A2 in turn requires A3. Now reference count become 3. Now A3 requires A4. Now reference count become 2. Now A4 requires B1. So now reference count becomes 1. Now B1 requires B2. So we have used all the possible requests, right? So it cannot make any other request further. If it tries to make other request, then what we will do is, we will discard the process. That means we will stop executing that particular process. This is about minimum number of frames.